Hey guys, today I am going to be showing you one of my new favorite breakfast meal prep recipes that I am so in love with right now. I'm going to show you guys how to kind of add a little bit of extra magic to your boring oatmeal, and there's a secret ingredient we're going to be adding into this recipe that you've probably never thought to add to your oatmeal. It is going to be an absolute game changer in your breakfast, and I cannot wait to show you guys this favorite recipe of mine, so let's get right into it. That is good. If you guessed that the secret special ingredient was miso paste, you would be absolutely correct. We all know that miso paste is great in adding savory yumminess to sauces and stir fries and soups and all sorts of savory recipes, but it really helps to enhance the flavors of sweet items as well, like fruits and sugary things. And so that's why it works so well in oatmeal. It's gonna help to just bring out the flavors of the spices, the sweetness and the flavor of the apples, and overall just add more flavor, and it's just like so mind-blowing. You're gonna absolutely love the way that miso enhances your oatmeal recipes. So don't sleep on this. Let's get right into this recipe. Okay, so our first order of business is to chop up all of these apples, and then we're just going to pretty much divide them in half. Half of them are gonna be cooking directly in the oatmeal, and then the other half are gonna be sauteed with a few other fun ingredients. So let's get chopping. Ta-da! Okay, so we have one half of the apples here, one half of the apples here. Let's mosey on over to the stove. Okay, so now you're going to want to grab yourself a pretty large saucepan, something that you can cook about 3 cups of oats inside. And we're gonna start by making our cinnamon spiced milk to cook the oats in. So we're gonna add some water, 2.5 cups that is. Then we're gonna add 2 cups of an unsweetened plant milk. I'm using soy milk, but you can use whatever is your favorite. Almond milk, oat milk, cashew milk, whatever tickles your fancy. Then we're gonna add in our spices. So we have 1.5 tablespoons of cinnamon and half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Now this is going to add, oh my gosh, so much good flavor. I don't even need to tell you, you already know this is gonna be good. And then we're gonna add 2 of our 4 tablespoons of maple syrup, just to add a little bit of extra sweetness. At this point, you can turn on your stove and get the milk warming up. And we're going to give that all a good whisk, get the cinnamon, get the nutmeg dissolved into the milk. Okay, now that the cinnamon has been whisked into the milk, we have our element on high. We're gonna bring this milk mixture to a boil, and then we're gonna add in our oats. And in the meantime, while our milk is coming up to a boil, we are going to take 1.5 tablespoons of our 2.5 tablespoons of miso paste and put it in a little tiny bowl or a little dish. We're just going to whisk it up with a couple tablespoons of water, just to kind of get it dissolved a little bit so it's easier to stir into the oatmeal mixture in a little bit when we're ready for that step. Woo! Okay, our milk is literally on the verge of being boiled. So now we're gonna add in our 3 cups of rolled oats. I like to use sprouted gluten-free rolled oats because they're a little bit higher in protein. And then we're gonna add half of those chopped apples to the oats. Be careful, don't splash and burn yourself. Give that all a good stir. And then we're going to lower the heat down to a simmer, like between heat level 2 and 3. And we're just going to let this cook uncovered. And later we're going to add in that miso paste once we're about halfway finished cooking. So grab yourself another semi-large-ish saute pan. Get it heating up on medium-high heat, and we're going to melt about a tablespoon of vegan butter. Could also be vegan margarine, that's all I'm using, just vegan basil. My kitchen smells so good. It smells like autumn. Okay, once your pan feels hot and your butter is melted, now we can add our last half of those chopped apples. Then we're gonna add our remaining half of a tablespoon of cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. and our remaining 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. And we're pretty much going to keep these apples cooking on about medium high-ish heat. We're gonna let these kind of caramelize and brown for about 10 to 15 minutes as the oats cook. Okay, so in case I didn't mention this already, I think I did, but as you know, we have 2 different servings of miso. I have miso A and miso B. The miso A I have already dissolved in water, and that will be going into the oatmeal. And then miso B will be dissolved in water and going into the apples. And the reason why I haven't added them to the oats or the apples yet is because miso is a live, fermented, bacterial, cultured product. And when you add it to something that's screaming hot, like boiling water or something that's like still actively cooking, you could kill off a lot of the good bacteria in it that are good for you, good for your tummy. And so we want to save as many of those bacterias as possible. So we're gonna wait until the apples are almost done, until the oatmeal's almost done, kind of like when you're making a miso soup. You add it pretty much at the end once you've removed it from the heat. So that's what we'll be doing very shortly. And trust me, it is gonna blow your mind when you try adding miso to sweet things. Like, oh, it just brings out so much flavor and adds just the most delicate, gentle savoriness to an otherwise pretty sweet dish. Same goes with baking. Let's normalize adding miso to all the things, not just savory foods. Okay, people, it's almost been about 15 minutes since we started cooking the oats. They're looking pretty delish and almost done, I'd say. So I'm gonna remove them from the heat. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. We're gonna add the miso paste. Make sure you scrape out all the paste. I guess using a square spoon is not really the most helpful in this situation, but I did my best. And now we can stir in that miso paste into the oatmeal and let it work its magic. Yum! I know it doesn't look like much, perhaps, to you guys, but there's lots of good stuff going on here. Okay, let's move along to our apples. How are they doing? They're looking beautiful. They're looking brown and bronzed and bodacious. And I might even say they look rather bold. Okay, we are adding in miso. What is this, miso B? Yes, miso B. We're adding in B. It almost kind of like makes the apples more saucy. The moment I have been waiting for. Let's give her a go. Boom. Okay, all I have to say is don't knock it till you try it. That is honestly some of the best apple cinnamon oatmeal I think I have ever tried, let alone made. The miso, you guys, I don't even know what to say. Like, it doesn't taste like there's miso in here. Like, it doesn't taste fermented. It doesn't taste like really salty. It's just there's this little je ne sais quoi, this little extra bit of flavor that has just enhanced everything. The flavor and the sweetness of the apples, the cinnamon, the spiciness and the warmth of the spices. I don't know how else to explain it other than it just made this taste way better. It's not bland. It's not boring. It's delicious. I'm so in love with this apple oatmeal. I have lots more meal prep and breakfast recipes hitting the channel this fall, so if you don't want to miss out, make sure you subscribe below, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video right up here. Bye-bye!